Hello again. Welcome to Truth in Bikinis podcast with the talk queen, Lita Rare. I am, as usual, very excited to have you join me today. So, Truth in Bikinis podcast is a podcast that undresses reality and gives a voice to the silence. And before we go on, I'd like to encourage you to use that subscription button below. Yes, subscribe to our channel, like us. You're absolutely going to love what you hear. So why don't you just go ahead and like it, share it, invite your friends to be a part of what you're watching and enjoying. So today on this show, I have an amazing guest with us. You see, I pick my guests with a touch of intelligence, experience, beauty, class, everything that has to come with this. So I have a guest on the show today. But before I introduce her, the topic for today, gang, drum rolls, boarding schools, yay or nay. Welcome, Blessing. It's so good to have you.
It's good
welcome,
to have you
welcome.
too.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. And you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. You look delectable.
Same as you.
You always, you know, Blessing loves to always appear on corporates. She's always looking classy, a corporate woman thingy. Is there an inspiration behind it?
Okay, I love just looking good.
Oh,
wherever I'm
true.
going to.
I
love
that.
looking good because I feel that before I say a word, my appearance should speak for itself.
Truly, you're judged by how you dress.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. I'm glad I didn't disappoint. Imagine her looking all pink and I come here looking like a...
Man, you're looking so great.
Thank you. That makes two of us. It's so good to have you here. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling good.
That makes two of us because I'm excited to have you here as my guest. I couldn't possibly be doing this by myself. Imagine me talking to myself. I love monologues, but then I think it's more exciting when it's a dialogue.
Yeah. It's exciting when it's a dialogue.
Thank you. Blessing, you've been to a boarding school.
Yeah.
How long did you board? What class to what class?
For 6 years, from JS1 to SS3.
Nice. Wow.
There's nothing nice about the
Ouch!
experience.
I knew you were going to do that.
There's nothing nice about the experience.
Can you calm down? Let's not throw stones first, because they say if you live in a glass house, don't throw stones. You've lived in that glass house, so I don't think, or you moved out from the glass house, so you can throw stones. But let's hold on. Let's not throw the stones yet. Okay, so first, our topic is boarding school. Yes or no? Yay or nay? Now, recently on social media, there was a case of a lady. The video made the rounds. It was a viral video of a student. I think I can't remember the name of the school. It happened in Abuja.
A British school.
International,
Yeah.
something like that. And a student bullied another student. It was a boarding school, if I remember clearly. She bullied another student. And that video was triggering for me to watch. It was triggering for me to watch. I went to a boarding school as well. The very first day I went to boarding school, a senior assaulted me because she thought I was somebody else. She had given somebody, I think, her plate to wash and return, and the person did not. So my back was turned. Already it was a traumatic experience for me. I hadn't boarded before. This was SS1.
Oh.
I came from a school I really, really liked. But for some reason, I won't disclose, my parents had to move me from that school and take me to another school. It changed the trajectory of my life. I didn't like it. In fact, I threatened my mom. I said, I'm going to become a lesbian. I told her I was going to become a lesbian. It's just, I was willing to tell her anything just so she wouldn't change my school. But she told me, God, become if you like.
Because you know that you won't become
right?
one.
Literally. I said, Mommy, I'm going to go become a lesbian. Okay. So, for those that cannot relate, I come from a very Christian home. Emphasis on very Christian home. Imagine me going to become a lesbian. So I threatened her with that, but it didn't work. So off I went to boarding school. And on my first day, I can remember how I felt. I felt cast away. I felt forsaken. I felt like my world had come to an end. I remember it like I feel the emotions even in the present as we speak.
Yeah.
It had this claustrophobic feeling, like I was shut in a place I was not supposed to be. God, I hated it. I hadn't been separated from my parents before, from my family. So I hadn't. It never happened before. So it was strange. It was, my friends had all just been changed overnight. And then I walk into the hostel with rolling my box, carrying my bag after I had been searched at the search point.
Yeah.
My mommy matron and the rest of them. God rest her soul. So I go into the hostel and then I'm trying to even understand, because I'm a junior student. I'm going to sleep on the up bunk, not the lower bunk, of course. So I'm now imagining how I'm going to be climbing I'm going to be climbing bunk every night and every morning. I'm like, oh my God. I haven't even settled in. I'm trying to get out my bunk. And I get a very resounding and stinging slap on my back. And I turn. As I turn, and the person who did that says, oh, sorry, I thought it was somebody I gave my plate to wash.
What?
That was my welcome. That was my welcome to boarding school.
I think we both have a sad welcome.
Ouch.
Mine was a knock.
Oh. I knew I was going to hate boarding school, right? I thought I was going to hate it, but when that thing happened, I knew it was going to be 3 years of misery for me. Like, welcome to the miserable girls club. I am finished.
God.
Wow. That was my welcome to boarding school, my dear. So I went through boarding school and I survived. I'm here. So we're here to talk about...
Definitely, we are here.
We're here to talk about boarding school, I'd say. So before we get to talk about the negative sides of it, we can't deny that there are positive sides, there are benefits of boarding school. I mean, because I went to a boarding school, first of all, I learned. I'm already a naturally independent person.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm very independent minded. I don't do cliques. First of all, I can go anywhere without needing somebody to escort me. That's me. But boarding school also gave me this sense of, it helped me to understand time. There's a time for everything in boarding school.
Yeah.
You wake up at a particular time. When the bell goes off, you're up from your bed. You pick your bucket. You're going to go and have a bath. You come back, you're off to the labor ground, you do your morning duties, you serve at your duty post, you come back, you prepare for the day, you go to dining, right? That's how it is.
Yeah.
You go to dining, you have your breakfast. After breakfast, you head to class.
And if it is Monday and Fridays, you have to go to the devotion ground.
Yes. And then with Saturday, you're going to the labor ground.
Definitely.
From 5 a.m. till around maybe 8 when you're done.
And that's when you come and have your breakfast.
Yes, have your breakfast. I think our time breakfast was like moi moi. It was moi moi and pap. And we used to sleep. But let's not go there. So it teaches a child that the world is ruled by time.
Yeah.
And time is important. So it helps you to segment your life into time. There's time for siesta. Once it's siesta time and you're not in bed and you're caught roaming, sorry be your name. Now, once siesta is over, and you overslept and they locked you inside the hostel. I've been caught before. Don't ask me what happened. You're still on your bed doing siesta, right? So it gives you this sense of, it gives you a sense of order. It helps you to respect time, be time conscious and be a timely person. Tell me some other benefits, because I can't seem to remember.
It helps you to be responsible.
Oh, okay.
So you have to be responsible for whatever action you take.
Okay.
So if you're not there on time to clean up your workplace, your labor ground, or wherever you were given as a place of duty, if you're not there on time to clean the class, if you were actually named that day to clean the class,
or the toilet,
or you overslept,
you
have to now be responsible if you overslept, that you would stay there. Is it that you scream for help?
Yeah.
And then you know that when you're screaming for help, when mommy matron comes,
she's going to rescue you, but she's going to punish you. There are consequences.
Punish you. Yep. Now, and you also know that if I don't scream, I have to stay there till
prep is over.
Evening, night prep. No, like night prep. After night prep. And that's around 9 p.m.
You miss your dinner.
That's around 9 p.m.
Yeah, 9 p.m.
So it now teaches you that you have to take responsibility for this. This is the action I took. I have to take responsibility for this. And he also teach you to be independent. In as much as you're independent, you have to learn to intertwine that you need dependency.
Like interdependence, you mean?
Interdependence.
Okay.
So there's a time where you need your friends.
Definitely.
And there's a time where you just want to be alone and do everything alone.
Yeah.
In short, from the beginning of the day when you wake up, you may likely have to do everything alone to a bit of, in between the day. Yeah. That's where you kind of need your friends and all. But all the same, boarding school did a lot of good.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did a lot of good.
It did. It has benefits. I agree. It gives a child a sense of agency early in life.
Yeah.
Makes you take responsibility.
Yeah. Nobody is waking you up.
Nobody's waking you up.
If anybody tries to wake you up, maybe your friend wakes you up.
Or it's your first time.
And you're like, God, thank you very much.
Yeah,
you're very
grateful. Because they don't owe you. They don't even owe you that. Yeah, they don't owe you that.
You know what would have landed on your back in the next second?
So, yeah, it helps you have a sense of responsibility, personal self-agency, individuality, timeliness, order. It does that for you. Now, let's talk about the drawbacks or the other side of the story. Let's be real about this because there are people. Okay, let me just put this out there. Boarding school traumatized me. It traumatized me. It did, but I'm not going to tell you about that until she's done talking. So,
okay, so I will start from the very beginning. The very beginning. I walked in by just one. I just walked in, and then one thing led to another. I'm having a school mother. One thing led to another. I'm
whether
having
you
a
want
school
it or
sister
not,
the same day.
Yeah.
So I'm not like, okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Do you know the person who gave me that stinking slap on my back ended up being my school father?
What?
Go on. Just go on. Yeah, good. Boarding school is crazy. Okay. Let's go ahead.
I was not like, okay, I have a school sister now. Okay, I have a friend. I have somebody to play with, like the first day you're coming in. So we headed towards the hostel area after we had dropped our things. So we headed towards the hostel area, and she was taking a lot of time because I escorted her and I was waiting for her. So I'm not like, Victoria, where are you? And I didn't know that the social prefect, her name is Victoria. Let me withhold her surname. Let me withhold her surname in case she's watching this. Her name is Victoria.
I know what is coming next. Oh my God.
I'm sorry, she's brief in height. She's not really that tall. So I'm not hearing somebody saying, what?
Are you calling my name?
Are you calling my name? And I'm like, I'm not telling her, what is it?
Oh,
I'm thinking that she's just
oh my God.
What is it? And she said, saying that to me.
Brave person disadvantage.
Come here. No, she did like this. Come here. Yes. And I'm not like, why should I come towards you? Then she walked towards me.
By the time she was done, you knew.
And then the next thing I heard was, my head was banging. I had headache for 1 week.
Wow. No carbs.
And I'm not like, what did I do wrong? She now said, they didn't give you orientation or something.
Oh, orientation.
I'm not like, I don't know. What did I do wrong? She said, by the way, I am the social prefect of this school. My name is Victoria, so and so. Not like, okay. So she said, you address people, your mates, with their surnames. And then you address us
with our positions,
our titles. Not like, okay. And I told her, I am sorry. She said, it is too late. You're my PA for 1 week.
Oh, I was going to just say that. I was just going to say that. Oh my God, you are finished. Jesus.
When she said, meanwhile,
you didn't understand. You didn't get the full import of what PA meant for 1 week.
Being a PA for 1 week means
you did not understand it when she said it.
You fetch her water.
Yeah.
You wash her clothes. you wash her plate.
You take her place to the dining for food.
To the dining for food. In short, to the point that if she have an assignment, she will give it to you.
As a junior student.
And then imagine doing an assignment for somebody that is in SS3 and you're in JS1. What do you know?
And you dare not make her fail.
Double punishment. So that was like, I'm not like, what is happening here? Immediately I went to my guardian, I called my sister. I don't understand this school. Oh. They want to kill me. She said, no, we've already paid school fees, so you will stay there. Oh God. And my dress one was like the phase where I am meeting with the devils. The devils themselves. You hear a senior say, I'm using lenses because a senior student flocked me and it affected my eye.
So I'm going to make sure that another person will use lens.
And she did it.
Yeah. So it's in psychology there's a cycle of abuse where abused people become perpetrators themselves.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what goes on in boarding schools. I had mates that were like, I don't have a reason to be wicked, but somebody did it to me, so I have to do it to somebody too. Until today, I don't understand the logic behind it.
I don't.
This person you're doing it to,
can't you just forgive?
You. No, definitely forgive. Even if you're forgiving, or if you're revenging, even if you say it's vengeance, how does doing it to this person exert vengeance? The person who did it is not feeling it. Do you understand? The person who exerted that, the person is not feeling it. So boarding school, bullying, from bullying to extortion. Has a senior student ever collected probation from you?
I'm coming to that part. So there was this senior student that asked me to be her school daughter. I told her I can't be. I don't like you. I can't be your school daughter.
You actually had the guts to tell the senior you don't like her.
I don't like you. She asked me why. So I told her I don't like you. There's this thing that comes when you're just entering boarding school.
You didn't know. You were still a newbie.
You are a newbie. You are a novice. So you don't know how to address these people. I'm not like, I don't like you. She now said, you don't like me. So she now said, okay, be my school friend. I said, no, I don't like you. She said, you don't like me. I'll make your stay in this school miserable. Those were her words.
Imagine a boy asking you out and then you tell the boy you don't like the boy. And the boy tells you, I'll make your life miserable because you don't like me.
No, I told her, you can't do anything.
Oh.
I left.
You really were rookie. Hey.
Guess what happened? After light out, I heard somebody said inside the hostel, Blessing, did you have an encounter with this so senior? I said, yes. What happened? He said, Blessing, you have to be careful. Oh. We came to this school 1 week ago. We know what we have encountered. You just came this week. You resumed late. I'm not like, anything that happened, we got to report it. That's what they say. We'll report it to this school. The authorities, we report it to the authorities. The next day.
Report to which authorities?
The next day was Saturday. Oh. Guess what happened? Somebody banged into the hostel.
Yeah, that's how they do.
She hit on the door. Did she
have a go to hell with her?
No, she didn't come with a go to hell. She was like,
For those watching, let's tell them what a go to hell is.
A go to hell is a hanger that is broken. There's this rubber hanger
that has two edges. So they break it, and then there's a long side of it, not the square parts. You cut out the square part. It's the lower part of the hanger. When you hold it like this,
so you use that lower part and flog any.
And it's not just any kind of hanger. It's these hangers that are very flexible. These ones that no matter how hard you hit, don't break easily.
And if they want to do you wickedness, they will soak it inside water. She banged on the door. JS1 girls. JS1 Silver House girls.
Oh, you're in Silver House.
Yes, senior. She didn't have any position, by the way. She wasn't a prefect. Where is Blessing? She mentioned my surname. I'm not like, who's this person? So I went out. I met her. She said, oh, okay. She called for 3 times. And then she said, you made me call you 3 times. Open your locker. What do you want?
Just imagine the
she said,
outright.
I said, open your locker. I opened my locker. She packed all my provision. And I told her, why did you do that? She said, you're questioning me. She was already out. I learned you guys test is starting soon, but me, I'm preparing for my mock-up exams. So guess what? I want your lamb.
Here.
I'm like, so senior.
As they will take the lamb from you and you will not read.
I'm like, senior, how will I do with my test? She said, I don't care. I don't bloody care. Hell. I gave her the lamb. My classmates, they were just giving me one side eye like that I should give her. I gave her the lamb. She went with it. I failed my test, my first test. So my sisters came for visiting day. Yeah, and I told them, we wrote tests, this, that. And I'm like, what's the result like? Did you pass? How are you coping with school? Not like I failed. Not like, why would you fail? Are you okay? And my second sister, she know they agree. Like, are you okay? After the provision they gave you, you failed.
Provision where you never job. Provision where you never job.
And she said it. She started running out of my eyes. I told her, 3 sets of provision.
I didn't eat even one. It's painful, it's painful. You're meant to now be drinking Gary with Milo. And you never.
This is so paining me till today. I told her, senior, packed all my provision, including the lamb. That's why I failed. She said, are you serious? I said, okay, I want to meet your house mistress. No. You know, during visiting days, sometimes the school management are not really there. Yeah. It's just the security and some staffs
house
that
mistress,
live in school.
Yeah.
So I told her, okay, come back on Monday. So she came on Monday. Do you know the most amazing thing? My school mother's father then was the vice principal of the school. So she went to report it to the counselor. And then he just loved walking around the school compound. So he was not like, no, he used to call me a blessing. Yeah. He's a Hausa man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. A blessing.
I think I know him.
What are you, Mr. Obu?
I know him. VP Obu. I know him.
So they're like, a blessing. What are you doing here? And who is this woman? I'm like, that's my elder sister. I came to report. Senior student collected all my provision and even my lamb. The provision is not even my problem. The lamb, I failed test, and my mother is a teacher. So my sister knows that if I fail that particular exam, the next time you're not going with provision. Not like
I am Marty here.
Not like, okay, so did she flog you? And she flogged me. Not like, yes, she flogged me. Not like, okay, go and call her.
They sent you to go and call her.
The man is actually a no-nonsense man.
I know you, bro. I know.
And I'm like, go and call her. I called her. She didn't answer me. She said, what are you doing here? Instead, she punished me in her classroom.
She made you kneel down and wait.
I knelt on top of the table and I waited. So VP Obu now sent for the SP. So she now went and called her. So that's where she released me and she was now running. I know VP Obu, there was a time he used to carry this cane, this koboko kind of. And then when she came, she said, what is your relationship with her? She was silent for a moment and then she said, she's just a junior student that I asked to be my school daughter. She didn't accept. I asked her to be my school friend and she didn't accept. And I said, was that all? Said, yes. And I said, it's a lie, She collected my provision. She collected my lamb. So one thing led to another. They ordered her to bring the lamb back. And then when she brought the lamb was broken.
Of course.
And then my sister got the lamb from her, but the VP said she have to, replace it with a new lamb. So she bought a new lamb for me. A new lamb for me plus the old lamb. My sister actually repaired the lamb. So I had 2 lambs and I was now shining my teeth. I've got 2 lambs. And then now want her to stay off my path. But I didn't know.
She'll set you up.
That was the beginning of my misery.
Oh my God. Let's talk about the part where her mates are like, so you reported your senior.
That is why I said that was the beginning of my misery.
They'll take it off her hands. Goodness gracious.
House captain I had, there were two, Grace and Patience. And Grace was this lovely, sweet soul, amazing, but Patience
was not patient at all.
Never. She doesn't even look like her name. You dare not, if she's walking towards your direction.
Sorry, just for emphasis. So we're talking about how boarding schools can impact students' social and emotional development.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if she's walking towards your direction, you dare not double cross her. Are
You go the other way.
You wait for her to pass or you go the other way.
Yeah.
So she was not like, the first time I heard her talk, blessing, come out. She talks so nice, but she's damn. Forgive me, Lord.
I had a prefect like that. Her name was Glory. Oh, we're calling names. Yes, we're calling names. So if you hear your name, come and dance. Her name was Glory. We used to call her
position.
She was. Can I remember? I don't think I even want to remember, but her name was Glory, and there was. I think they used to call her there was a scorpion to her name or something. And believe me, she stung.
Yeah, a nickname.
Yes, she stung. Jesus. She was beautiful. She was beautiful and she spoke calmly. She was regal like a queen. She used to catwalk. So you would think she's all kind and warm, but she's like a snake.
Not.
If she bites you, you will not recover for a long time. So we had people like that. They weren't anything like what they look like. So this particular senior, I'm sure she set you up with her mates, and everybody took turns punishing
they won't
the
pass
girl.
by if I'm not washing plates. I don't mean one plate though.
Of
a
course,
bucket of plates.
Of
washing
course.
clothes. They just have to send me on errands. Sometimes they flog me for no reason.
Yes.
And the one that traumatized me even till this moment is the fact the day that social nights, Saturday, we're preparing. So I was dancing. And we were dancing to Alaji.
Hey, I know that dance.
So I was really twerking.
Hey.
And then they said, call me Dari Taubu's school daughter.
And your school mother was Rita. Okay, just go ahead. I don't want to say that. Okay, wow.
So I came and then they said, oh, I like the way you dance. That was so nice. I was not shining my teeth. Thank you, senior.
You had no idea.
Thank you, senior. We said, okay, start dancing. So they're playing the song. I was just thinking maybe it's just something of maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
You would dance till you drop.
I was dancing. They say you're not,
dance till you
the
drop.
next thing I heard is, you're not dancing well. Remove that bed. Climb on the up bunk.
That's when you realize this has gone beyond dancing.
Up bunk?
And the question is, what if you fell?
I started dancing. When I become weak, they flog me. Guess where? My legs.
Yeah. Oh, should we talk about the part where seniors would flog you underneath? So we're just trying to let people know what really goes on in boarding schools. Because it's like many parents, many guardians, many people are not even aware of what goes on in boarding schools. A child can get flogged underneath her feet or his feet until those feet will swell. To the point that the child cannot walk but has to walk. Should we talk about where a senior would punish a junior student by asking the child to enter under the bed and lay down in water? In water. Or should we go to the back path? You know that there's this place where you fetch water, and because we have like over 1,000 students, so they're always fetching water. So of course the place has a lot of spirogyra, algae and all of that, and then the senior punishes you and asks you to lie down in that algae.
In my JS1, that was my home. My
or they'll have their bath
and allow me to roll there.
Exactly,
she would
roll
say,
there.
Wow, for no reason. She just hated the fact that my school mother had school daughters.
So there's a book by William Golding that's called Lord of the Rings. It talks about a group of boys that get stranded on an island, I think, after a plane crash. Now, there's no adults with them. There's no supervision. There's no monitoring. There's no rules. There's no calling to order. These boys, these sweet boys, mommy's boys, can't harm a fly. These boys become savage to the point that they even begin to kill themselves. Begin to brutalize each other so badly. So it goes to show us that it's innate in human nature to exploit. There's this animalistic tendency.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I can't remember who said it, but is it Machiavelli? I can't remember. He said that society, that man was like a beast living in society that was brutal. Life was short. It was a survival of the fittest thing, and the weak were always overpowered by the mighty or the strong, until people decided to bring in government and call it the Leviathan, so that there could be order in society. It's a government thing. It's a government and politics, a political thing. Now, it goes to show us that there are really, in most boarding schools, there are really no systems of authority that hold seniors accountable for what they do.
Yeah. And even if, let me chip this in, even if there are system of authority, these senior students always have a way of sneaking it out and, dealing with the younger ones.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, these authorities don't follow you back to the hostel.
Yes. They know the consequences of what they do.
Yeah,
so you hear them say,
go and
I'm
report.
flocking you.
Go and report.
Go and report. When you report, highest, they will give me a suspension at school.
I will save and come back.
I will save and come back. And when I come back...
I admire how you were able to maintain your position and your stance. My case was not so different, and I'm talking about this because I've been able to move on from it. I used to blame myself a lot. Some of us were it was a norm. Like, I had colleagues that would pressurize you, literally. They'll be like, you're a weakling, you're this and that.
The pressure is there.
Yes. And the amazing thing, the people that we often underestimate the most sometimes turn out to be the ones that are doing incredibly amazing. Because I remember there was a junior student that my mate used to bully a lot. In fact, I don't want to say this because she'd probably get to see it, but it was bad because she also had like a kind of condition, which I believe has gotten better. She couldn't help herself. But maybe you get what I'm trying to say. Yeah, you know it. I just don't want to talk about it on camera. It was so bad and they would bully her for it. But this girl is doing so good today. And every time I look at her, I imagine, how do these people feel when they look at her?
Exactly.
How do they feel when they look at that person that they used to bully, or they were toxic to, and all of that? So how were you able to navigate the waters of bullying and come out to be this confident person? Did it not affect your self-esteem at all?
It affected.
Okay.
It affected because from between the journey through my JS1 to my SS2, I was timid. I was not really outspoken. I love to stay in one corner because I'm now like, I don't just want to have any issue with any senior or any prefect. I just want to avoid them. I try to do things on time because I don't want their issues. And when I was given we were given the posts in our SS2, I then took the decision that, anything that you don't want somebody to do unto you, don't do it unto someone. Yeah. So I now said I won't flock anybody. But my mate, to an extent, was mocking me because of that. So you see them, maybe they are punishing my school daughter or my school friend. And I'm like, Blessing, you're not going to save her. I'm not like, what did she do? Did she do anything wrong? I'm not, no, she didn't do anything wrong. Allow her now to go. They'll be like, you come and collect the cane for her. Come and collect the strokes for her.
Imagine that.
Come and collect the strokes for her. I'm not like, why would I collect the strokes for her? She didn't do anything wrong. But even at that point, I wasn't
kind of
pushed. I wasn't pushed to. I wasn't like, I kind of control myself. I'm not like, Blessing, you're in charge of yourself. Sometimes it gets so overwhelming.
It does.
It gets so overwhelming. Yeah. And I'm not like, what I asked my classmate then, what joy do you derive seeing others cry? Because I know that during the period through my JS1 to SS2, I was depressed. I was traumatized. Truly. Till today, I can't twerk anymore. Since that day, I just took a decision. Blessing, you will never twerk again.
It's not just you. Something happened to your psychology. You associate that experience with pain. That's why.
I just decided, I said, since this thing will bring me pain, I won't twerk anymore. I won't dance during social gathering. So I exempted myself from social gathering. I withdrew. So I knew the depression it threw me in.
Okay.
I love dancing, but I can dance any style of dance, but I won't twerk.
That's the extent to which this went.
So now I saw where it threw me to. The mental torture, the depression.
Yeah, the mental torture.
I sleep some nights and I have flashes.
Dreams, right? Sometimes you see yourself back there.
Of the seniors coming to flog me.
Oh my God.
And
I think that all of us need therapy. All of us I went to one. I feel like we need therapy.
With me a lot.
Oh my God.
What really helped me from my SS2, I had the conversation with my elder sister.
Okay.
And she bought a lot of books concerning mental health.
Wow.
And how to get out of depression for me.
Kudos to that sister of yours.
Thank you. So when I was in school, I was reading those books during my SS3 because I kind of had a little bit of freedom that people can't police you around. A senior can send you. So you can just do your thing at your own pace. Yeah. So I had time to just, go through and read the book. And that helped me.
Oh, wow.
To come out of it bit by bit.
Actually, I can relate. So when I left boarding school, that was like the end of secondary school for me. I was a very timid child. I did not enter boarding school as a timid child. I was not timid.
No.
Me. I was so expressive that everybody thought I wanted to be a lawyer. Exactly. It took my identity from me. It stripped me. It took me and stripped, peeled, and left me with a person that I couldn't recognize. Exactly. And I think that's what happened to almost all of us. Even the people that bullied us.
And do you know the funniest thing? Some people think that it is nutrition. That it is poor nutrition that is making the child look slim.
And then when your child is coming back from boarding school and is looking lean and is not, that child is depressed. Sometimes it's not food. It's not food.
The mental torture
the child is going through a lot mentally. So when I came out from boarding school, what really saved me was there were books I read too. I read books from Miles Monroe. I read books from Ben Carson. Ben Carson had difficulties as a child too. So I had books like that encouraged me and began to build on my self-esteem.
And there was a man that, sorry to cut you short, there was a man that usually come that period of time, King Carter. And then he'll be giving us books,
Those are what helped us, to get through. God. And then when we came out of secondary of boarding school, we really didn't have like a real sense of identity. I had to reform my identity. This person that I am did not happen while I was in boarding school.
Never.
So in closure, in wrapping this up, are you saying that the negatives of boarding school outweighs the positives?
Yes, it outweighs
with
the
your full
positive.
chest.
With my full chest. If you are a mother or a father or a guardian and you can guide your child, your confidence in yourself that you can guide your child very well. Please send your child to school from home.
Yeah. Let them go like a day school.
Sometimes when they come out of the boarding school, you will see your child that your child can't talk anymore.
Like literally, that timidity.
The child just loves to be alone.
Thank you.
Alone.
When I came out from school, I couldn't even greet a visitor. It was that bad.
That is not the child's personality. The child is being ripped off of everything he or she owns. The child can even be doing well for his or herself, but he still have that mental torture.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I've overcome it totally, but till today, there are days I sleep and then I'll wake up and I'm feeling the scream in my ears.
So I mentioned something that happened in my year 2, that we were punished in year 2. And what happened was, it wasn't our fault. They brought in plates of food and pots of food that were for seniors. And usually seniors have their table, but they brought it to our table. So we ate because we were hungry and we had to eat. And they paraded all of us in front of the hostels. And they made us kneel in the mud, in the sand and the dirt. Our knees were peeling. They were flogging us. And they formed a song for us and made us sing the song. You know what that does to a child? You know what that does to a person? It's like being a prisoner of war. That memory has not left my head. I remember the song. I remember what I wore. I remember what it smelled like. Until I left that school, I never ate that food that caused that problem. Imagine. It was porridge jam, which I really loved. I never ate it again. So it's boarding school, and parents should not see boarding school as a place you can just, if you're trying to, boarding school is not a place you carry your child and go and dump because you're busy. You don't have time. don't give birth to children if you don't want to have to go through the stress of taking care of them and having time for them. Boarding school is not a place you want to go and dump a child. You will not
just
the child
parents,
you put in
even
there.
guidance.
Yeah, the child you put in there is not the child you get out.
So try to open your ears and listen to your child.
Yeah.
When your child say, "Mommy, I'm going through this. Daddy, I'm going through this. Big sis, I'm going through this."
Yeah.
Please give them a listening ear.
Yeah.
Listen to them. Just in case maybe a word of encouragement from you can help them just regain back their self. Like in my case, my sister gave me books.
Yeah.
Because therapy wasn't really a thing that time.
It isn't still a thing. So what word of recommendation do we have towards bodies that can regulate what happens in these boarding schools? We have the government, we have principals, we have head of schools, we have parents. So what word, and we even have the students as well. So in closure, what word do you want to tell these people that can regulate what happens in these boarding schools? Because we can't close all boarding schools down.
No. Mm-hmm. Thank you for the question.
You're welcome.
The school authorities, they are to be held responsible.
Exactly.
The problem is that when a junior student comes to report a senior student, and they are reporting, maybe they are persistent with their reports, and they report this one today, report this one tomorrow, and you now hear staff say, "What did you do?"
Or is it only you every time?
Or is it only you every time? Now, you telling me, is it only you every time? I will never come again.
Exactly.
Now, they should listen to these junior students, and then they should learn how to handle these situations.
Yeah.
Like in our school, after your set had left, they tried to bring in this inclusion, this regulation that helped a bit, but it didn't totally help. Because, seniors found a way, they derive a way to just flog students or since you said flogging is a thing, that, it's a problem and something, we'll just punish them.
For no reason.
There should be there should be a regulation that, okay, if you flog one student, this is what will happen.
Should be consequences.
And even when there are these consequences, because if you go to all the boarding schools, you will see their rules and regulations.
They have these rules and regulations.
They have it.
Amazingly.
They should stick to it.
You should implement it.
Some of them don't implement it because of favoritism.
Yeah, true.
So because they love this person,
or there's a relationship.
There is a relationship.
That's not offending this person will help them keep.
Yeah, exactly. There's a relationship.
Yeah.
There is they kind of just like the person.
Yeah.
And they don't just want to punish the person. So they will just call the person, don't flog that person again.
And that is it.
And that is
and
it.
Nobody stops flogging by that.
Please implement these consequences.
Exactly. Find people and make scapegoats out of seniors that bully.
Once you punish 1, 2, 3, 4 persons, everybody will come to order.
Yeah.
And then there should also be a regulation whereby there are more attention to disabled people.
Oh, true.
I had a girl who was on a wheelchair. She was a year ahead of me, and she was always being bullied.
That's another thing.
Because she couldn't walk.
Thank you for talking about that. We even have people with health conditions.
That
were always bullied just for being
somebody had
physically challenged.
And the senior was flogging her. She cried till she choked.
It triggered
and she couldn't
asthma.
breathe anymore.
And the senior was still doing it.
Beating her.
Yeah, there are cases like that.
Gave her an inhaler. She recovered and still continued.
That's wickedness. For
God's sake.
That's wickedness.
I would love that to happen to my sister.
That's wickedness.
Or anybody that I know.
Yeah. So this is why we're saying that, you can send your children to boarding school if you want, but we
never.
We ain't doing that stuff.
Never.
And doing never ever.
No.
So thank you so much for all of that beautiful input. I hope that this is a wake-up call to everybody who watches this. We're not hating on boarding schools. There are so many things that boarding school taught me that I haven't been able to get out of my psyche. Positive things that I am grateful for. Yeah. But I cannot also get out some of the negative things that it did to me. I'm still working through some of them, and we are, still working through some of them. So we don't want to raise a society of people who lack empathy. what is lacking in boarding schools is empathy.
Exactly.
And I think that it begins from the top to the bottom. If a house mistress is kind, if she shows more empathy, if the principal shows empathy, if the teacher is so involved in the personal life of a student, he's a teacher that, his name was Mr. James. God bless Mr. James. If a teacher looks out for a student, so much so that the student feels loved, it is out of the abundance of the love a student, that child has, that in going forward, the child will pass on as a senior to a junior. So it begins from the top to the bottom. Thank you so much. This is Truth in Bikinis podcast. It was such a delight to have you listening to us today. Thank you so much, Blessing. I hope you had a wonderful time.
I had a wonderful time.
I'm glad I invited you. I'm glad you honored my invitation. So go ahead, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Click that like button, follow us, and keep your ears peeled for the next episode. I hope you enjoy this. Bye.